Ebusia the power seat suni ya satena CBM Ghana munsem ena yede ebrewo. Ya from Kofidos na ebusia Wesley Girls Senior High School nsem a esi mission schools no emma kwan emma enkremosum enkoso wo school mu no akoye nsem bebre afei schools wa enkremofo mu no so eno so ye ka ho asem ba Wesley Girls ye ena abetodwa ye ka ho asem na asem ni nyina mu se afei na ebia wo pese wo timu nsem de ana chese ni nyina ne se opani bi oye kremoni a ne ba akopie mu Wesley Senior High School Wesley Girls no akoye den se school ne se wo mon hyehyeye enkyere so ma kwan ema san kremosum no ekoso school mu enam so ema papa no de akọdna court na ensem no ewo court wa ye dibu ahimi amanfo kyere wo madwene wo mo kyerechire mu ebi kyere se asode ne nadine school adane ye ma kwan mu ni wo mudwuma ebi nso kyere se sabi school no aban eso school na asene anase sisi eye asore ne dia kra aban sika de bo ho bra enti na obi a wo mu chefa sense obi atuato na adwempo yi ene a kyerechire mu bia but ene very interesting trend bia ba Muntaka the interior minister wakotu emra ene nyinaso ebra kwasi broni na wo kromu ha odi Ghana so ne ade no enhihye bi koso efa Ghana wan sakra na yebenya fa ahode efa ngumasua ho san hyehyɛ kro na yewura Muntaka kyerɛ mu a esa to aso abewura ya mambra constitution no 1992 constitution mu ama ye decide to me ni bi apone ewe education act no ne me pese me kyerɛ nyina ne sɛ yewura Muntaka ye the interior minister akyerɛkyerɛ mu abawura wonim sɛ wo mo naja asoafo wo mu di nkita wonti oni yewura haro na didusu wo mu nyina ya asoafo but Muntaka akyerɛkyerɛ mu emra ene nyina so a ye ordinance bi a wono mu gitu mu sɛ sorry school ebe jinkremosum atum ewo school mu no wa boss amra no so de akyerɛ eno achi osan so kyerɛ mu sɛ emra kura asese ye kura mu education act no Ghana ha sei san hyehyɛ ni wo mu sɛ yɛsɛ ma nkwada no kwan ema omutumi nkremosum empo wa kristofo school mu na ɛho nsensem nyina no edadwa yentie ewura Muntaka yeba.
I'm sorry to say, for lack of better, we seem to be pretending as people. We don't even try to go and find out what is the genesis of all this. Okay. I mean, tell them, I sent you what I sent you. We had colonial masters who came for a mission. It was to colonize us and exploit our resources. And along that,
he's talking about the 1878
they started an education unit.
He shared with
They started trying to educate us. Mm-hmm. Then churches were forming their schools. They were having challenges. And let me say here, go check the record. And I say all these schools, they should be sincere. Because you see, we are talking about ethics and morality. And that is the center of the church and the mosques. They were having challenges running the schools. None. Go and check the record. Not a single faith school, whether Muslim or Christian, was forcibly taken by government. There's no one. Each of them had to apply to join. Each of them. Not one was coerced into handing it over to government. No. All of them had to apply. And in 1887, we had this ordinance, that's Cap 67. That says that, well, we don't have a problem if you want to government funding, but these are the conditions. Will you accept? We'll finance you. You can't accept? Run it as your private entity. And each of them that you see today that are so huge, accepted. And that was the condition under which the colonial masters, and I mean, I sent you that, I mean, and Section 7, and I'm sure those ordinances are there for everybody to go and cross-check. Section 7 of the Education Ordinance of 1887, that's Cap 67, articulated the following. Direct religious teaching shall not form part of the instruction to be given in any government school. Mm-hmm. Section 8 states, assisted schools shall, on being allowed by the Education Board or Board of Education, be enabled to receive aid from the public funds of the colony on the following condition. So you see, the first one is talking about government schools.
Yeah.
The second one is talking about assisted schools.
Right.
That the school be open to children without distinction of religion, or race. And that's what we continue to practice up to today. That's why the school selection selects you and puts you anywhere. It doesn't allow you to say that, I won't go to this school because it's a Muslim school. I won't go to this school because it's a Christian school. Because of the inclusivity.
And assisted school means
faith-based.
That school not being a government school, receiving financial assistance from the government.
Yes. No, and that's most important here. 6, section 8(6), that no child receive religious instruction objected to by the parent or guardian of such child, or be present when such instruction is given. And then the interpretation column, that's section 3, says, assisted school means a school not being a government school receives financial assistance from the government. And this was 1887, long before we had independence. And when we had independence, this was what is in our Education Act. Just to keep the inclusivity, this is what we had in our Education Act of 1961. And I'll just read a section. Section 22 says, provisions relating to race, language, and religion. A person shall not be refused admission as a people to, or refuse attendance as a people at a school on account of the religious persuasion, nationality, race, or language of that people, or of either of the parent of that people. 2, a test or an inquiry shall not be made of or concerning the religious belief of the people or student prior to their admission to a school or college. 3, a person attending or desirous of attending a school as a people shall not, if parents object, be required to attend or to abstain from attending, whether in the institution or elsewhere, a Sunday school or a form of religious worship or observance, or instruction in religious subjects. Why did I make reference to these two? Listen, I'm sorry to say, I sit today as the Minister for Interior, and yesterday we just finished a West African security meeting with all the ministers from West Africa, and then we're gracious to have the Minister for Interior for Netherlands sitting in. You may not believe me, our forebearers did so well by putting this to keep us together. They did so well. From colonial time through independence to today, to keep us together. That is why myself and Mercy, we can play, we can do any other thing without even asking what tribe is he. Without he being conscious about what religion I have. But something, I heard some of the arguments Prof and my sister were making. Believe me, since this struggle started, we have never asked. When I say we, I'm talking about the Muslims community, that allow us to build a church, a mosque in a Catholic school. Never. Never. Wesley Girls ask girls to spy even the Muslim girls to make sure they don't pray. Yes.
I'm told they hide. They hide to pray.
They have to hide to pray. Look, we are playing with something that, I'm sorry to say, can degenerate our society.
Today,
but my worry is
the
this:
Friday prayers,
no,
like people
no.
go to church on a Sunday.
No,
is the daily prayer?
Yes, the daily prayer. In the case of Muslims, women alone do not even do Friday prayers. It's not even mandatory for a female to be there. That's why you see when you go to most of our Friday prayers, many of them you don't even see them in large numbers. You see the elderly because it's not mandatory. It's for the male. I get it. And even in the case of the male student, let's say, for lack of better word, let's say Presbyterian Boys Secondary School. My second born attended Presbyterian Secondary School. They only have a place where they worship. It's not a mosque, but they give them a space where they can worship. In Achimota, they're giving them a place where they can worship. But they adhere to all the schools. And people say that, oh, you can't get up and go and pray at 1 and get up and go and pray at 3. That's not what they are seeking for. During break time, the prayer takes sometimes 5 minutes. Don't criminalize it. Because they are criminalizing it on those campuses. But let me say this something. I can tell you, majority of the Christian schools are very accommodating. Believe me, if you ask me to rank them from, say, 1 to 100, I can say with authority that over 80% of the Christian faith-based schools are very accommodating. Now, since this struggle started, do you know what we are beginning to see as ministers, or as the Minister for Interior? Some of the Muslim schools are beginning to also do. I said, no. What you complained that was wrong somewhere, we will not allow you to also do it here. Because one, others are beginning to say that, look, you come here, this Ahmadiyya Muslim, I'm just saying that because I don't want to mention a specific school. This is a Muslim school, so you have to perform ablution and you have to be in the mosque. Fasting is one of the 5 pillars of Islam, and it's mandatory for every Muslim who is healthy. So during Ramadan, we won't cook, we won't provide lunch. We only provide the dawn prayer. If you want, you can keep your dawn prayer food as a Christian and eat it in the afternoon. That is intolerance. Whether it's coming from the Muslim faith school or Christian faith school, we are saying that less accommodation. And then you see that, what do you call it, we did, the Memorial Sunday. We took our time. And I must admit, it was started by the previous government. And when I came, I said, look, this is a very good thing that we need to finish the race. So,
Muntaka, obviously, kyerɛ emra wo wa ensɔre no ne aban no yɛ nhyehyɛ sɛ yebetumi asom asum bia a yenyenyi mu wɔ nkwadaa ne mu kyerɛ sɛ akwadaa bia betumi asom asum a wowom emfa ho ne sukuu kura okɔ ɛno ne nhyehyɛ a ɛwɔ na ensɔre schools no so gyetu mu sɛ wɔn bɛpene so ama obi som ensi ne kwan so obesua de ewu sukuu mu na wɔpɛ so ɔsom so akwanya wɔ hɔ so otimi di dwuma na Muntaka atumi akyerɛ mu no but asɛm wo nyina no the power seat ya dwenkyerɛ ne sɛ yɛkase yɛ de mmra na ebe solve saa issue ya enya de sɛ beyeye and I've always said this ɛyɛ jojo ɛyɛ ano kasa mpanimfo nhyia because bra Muntaka mra no obobo so yɛ for education Muntaka obobo so sesi ɛne de yɛkeka with Education Act ni nyina no ɛyɛ Peace Council and the others, in fact the Christian and Muslim communities involving all the religious bodies no one more representatives and a quatrasia wɔn nyina timi yɛ saa nhyehyɛ no agitum mu enti at this time say conflicts bi man hom ne so a when we say conflict, start confrontations na shasiane the stages of conflict. Ya nhwe religious war ne religious fight ne ade ade na ebegin semu. So hu na school for no mu dia bom na we ye hadwene. Enti madikan ka se enye mbra e na yebeka se yegina so dia twetwema mentwe na makora pai. So what you say? Enti no ye momoden se yebetena se Peace Council, Christian Council, Catholic Bishop Conference, any Nkremofo, Ghana Muslim Missions, and no more keka woni nyina yemfre wo nyina no montrase. Na afei yenhwe schools wa hodo no. Medie e ka menko a se ye ka no obi anso wonte ne ho ase a. Ene wo ye kremoni akonkremo school. Afei e Christopher school no omo so omonte ase no. Aban enyi support no de support wo nyina emfiri ho. Na afei ensore no support wo school ni enhu se e ya asode ne nko school na ye omo dia. And so they can keep their values. Then Kremofo so and keep almost values school, no more support to school without the support of government. Ni who say a private entity, and you to me the omope. Scientists are there, then we must all accept. Na yet me pave way at the Maya and say beya. In fact, in said Christian school, dear Christians were dominated, they are over 80%. And there's no way in Kremophobia to me overriding. Samson Alco Islamic schools no is in Kremophobia over 80%. Almost about 90% of them yen kremofo. Kota na kakre bi na komo mo yen kremofo ni ade. And so it will tell you say mo person who hold you mo believe a majority of the students there can be trained in that. Not other people no so a practice one religion. Me these differences me say and who nim faso. We must allow, I mean we should tolerate each other. Yenye hu ntum because okotene fie na kremoni timo enu ntu beka so obetu ana. Because osori obey allow akubaro ba ye Kristo ni a obetu ana. I'm just asking a simple question. Etu uko dwem na akoto ade na momone na akoto ni ko obi na akoto ni kremoni na eton a ye Kristo ni abeka so onto nkodi ana. Kasa yefo no ukofo metro mass ana so ukofo VIP bus na ukoduro na kremoni na tika ani mu a wotwu na wo ya allow akubaro na empire de bono otna ka ani mu tu antu beka so obesi fam ana. Sa wonso ye kremoni na ukoto se Kristo ni ene te bus mu twi na ono so abone empire ya wo so kremoni obesi fam ana. I mean let's love each other. Your situations and kremofoni e Kristofo bi kura ware. You will be no and families get together and all that. You will be back, will be in Kremufo, a be a Christopher. A DNTNC ama wait to see them because of religious belief. You will be no abosom for, and so Busiaji womutum. So women sa no man on ye na nkwada besua de na chese ye se media maka se almost say school no ya sore nkwan school a abantwe ne nsem firim and sore nto collection and support wo schools eno ano no simple afa nkremofo so si schools no ye nkremo school eno ntie kristofo so nya kwan no mo so mba bi na edurubro mbebo mpa mo so mo mpa ye dia ye man nkremofo abantwe ne hu firim na nkremofo mfa wo collection ana wo salalu emfa en support the omo from friends me cry din no cry me nim eska na omo jeje so omo de koboya wisia ne omo ni bie no omo nyeje no mfa mo Islamic mission schools no na ye hu se aban se nim eti obi ato nim de a na ne mutumi ye de mo pe but until then ne de me say mun share all the religious bodies no na mo no mo ntrase mo hunu Minister of Education Harry Naidrusu meet them. The President of the Republic, John Dramani Mahama, Adena Ashas, and are very serious. And if we don't take care at the issues, where we see students fighting and we see parents fighting, conflict and getting, and we are just joking, we are playing with fire. Let's not joke with this. That's my take on it. We are the power seat. What am I? But subscribe button no so. Now follow me. Me the video be at on Sabe can't wait to me. Me the Kofi Dawson.